His friend? Did he seriously just ask you that? What kind of person thinks being someone's friend is the same as doing someone a favor? What in the world is he thinking? That's the exact thought that was running through your head when you watched his eyes, looking for some kind of emotion, something that would give you a hint to just that. Todoroki, I'm sorry, but could you explain what you mean by that? His eyes flashed with nothing, because absolutely nothing about his facial expression changed. With a straight face, Todoroki said again, "You asked if you could do something to repay me. Be my friend." Why? Was the first thing that escaped your mouth. You hated how it sounded so condescending. You didn't mean it to be that way. It just was. I don't mean to be rude, but isn't there anything else you want? Besides, don't you already have a bunch of friends? He didn't say anything. His eyes were staring you down intently. You got that feeling of uncomfortableness again. A shiver ran down your spine, all the way to your toes as you watched Todoroki take a step closer. I guess I should be more specific. He took another step. What I want from you is help. Another step. Your eyes darted from his lips to his eyes and his hair, then his feet, and back at his eyes again. I want to learn. Your eyes were latched onto his hands as he gripped your shoulders. How to feel. You gulped, because what else could you do in that moment? You needed to get his hands off you. They were messing with your mind. You stepped back and shrugged off Todoroki's hands. Is that all? He nodded. Your eyes hit the floor as you thought about what it meant to be Todoroki's friend. There were surely an equal amount of pros and cons, but his eyes, you looked back into them, looked so hopeful. You couldn't say no. You just couldn't. Sighing, you rock back and forth on your heels. You close your eyes, only opening them once you know you're facing the ground again. All right, I'll be your friend, Todoroki. Still looking through your lashes, you admire the way his head tilts slightly to the side, the way he blinks a sigh of relief, and his lips, the way they quirk into the most irregular smile you've ever seen on a person. Let's be clear, you want to understand emotion, right? Todoroki nods earnestly, and God help you, it was so cute. You looked down again, your hair falling over your eyes, covering a large red exploding on your cheeks. Something about this boy, something about him made you feel weird inside. How would you get through this friendship without spilling your guts? You wanted to hug him. That thought got you remembering how close he was just a few minutes ago. You wanted that closeness back, even if it was just through a little touch, a little finger tap. The tiniest spark would be enough to ignite your flames. You couldn't let that happen, not ever. You couldn't for many reasons, and there sure as hell would probably be more cons than pros. You could not let this boy touch you again. You would have to get over whatever you were feeling. A friend. He wants a friend, you reminded yourself. Not an entire person. Even so, you can't help but long for his touch, and it pisses you off to the core. You're okay with me being Katsuki's brother? It doesn't matter to me whether you're related to Bakugo or not. He states simply, yeah, but he might. I don't have a problem with him. He sure as hell has one with you, but you're so sweet and precious. My brother has serious issues. A million thoughts stream through your brain, but one you hold on to, carefully repeating it over and over again until you know that you've got it down. Do not let him touch you. I repeat, do not let Todoroki Shoto touch you again. And so on. When you finally got home, you threw your backpack on the floor and yourself on the bed. Your phone fell out of your hand and your head turned to the side. Following its movements, swiftly, you grab your pillow from behind and smash it into your face. The dark red cascaded across your cheeks, being covered by it. Why were you feeling this way? Your stomach hurt, and the thought of texting Todoroki sent you into a frenzy. He had given you his number as a courtesy, that's all. Of course, he did ask for your number in return, but that didn't mean anything. You were his friend now, that was all. He is just like Hikari, Aoi, and Rin, but why did you feel as though it was so much more than that? You had to get your head screwed on right, it was loose, and you needed to knock some sense into it. There was nothing wrong with you, right? You weren't sick or anything. With a huff, you shrugged the pillow off and smacked your forehead with your hand to make sure you weren't coming down with a fever. Nope, I feel just fine. You sigh out, sitting up. It's nothing. It's gotta be the ear then. Maybe allergies. Hey, toddler. Katsuki comes in, stomping into your room, throwing the door open. The exact same motion you used to fling your backpack on the floor a few seconds ago. You stumble a little to sit up, your brother watching your every movement with odd precision. You gulp, your Adam's apple making a show of how nervous you are. Why are you nervous, though? You haven't done anything to make your brother angry. At least that would be your first thought, if you didn't have Todoroki Shoto's phone number saved in your phone. He must have found out. He must have somehow seen you two. Something in his eye gave off that vibe. What else could it have been? What else could he be this angry at you for? Dinner's ready. The hag said to come down. Well, he said that with the most awkward calmness ever. Your bluntness showed as Katsuki slammed your door shut. You blinked a couple of times before dreadfully standing up and dragging your feet out of your room, down the hallway and down the stairs. Katsuki was already on his way back up the stairs when you walked into the kitchen. Your mom was serving your father at the dinner table. She looked up and smiled, patting down a place for you. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. You nodded at them, and they nodded back. You sat down, ready to give thanks. After dinner, you were helping your parents clean up when Katsuki came back down with his dish, and oddly enough, your phone. Your eyes widened in shock, but they stayed that way because you were afraid of the reasoning behind your brother having your phone. He definitely knew now. There was no doubt. Why else would he have your phone? Katsuki, your phone keeps going off and it's annoying. Quit yelling at this time of night. Your mother jumped on his tail, and he pounced right back. Shut it, you old hag. You winced, walking around the table to grab your phone from his hand, but when you did, he pulled back, his focus going back on you. Who keeps messaging you? His voice was now level. There was no heat to his words. He sounded quite curious, as a matter of fact. I don't know. You pulled your phone from his grip, watching as he peered over your shoulder. You eyed him. Can I help you with something else? For some reason, you had a gut-wrenching feeling that the person who was blowing up your phone was Todoroki, or at least one of the messages had to be his, and if your brother saw it, you would have no words for him. He might be mad at first, but that was something you could handle. However, another fear of yours was making him upset, disappointed, or any of the above. You loathed him seeing you differently, and for that reason alone, he could not see who was messaging you. He tusked, and you watched him walk toward the sink to wash his dish. You sighed, deciding it would be better to open up your phone in the privacy of your own room, where no one, let alone Katsuki, would be able to pry on you and your phone. You sat on your bed, finally opening up your phone to see what was all the fuss about. And of course, the first message you read was from Todoroki. You shuddered to think about what would have happened if you really had opened up your phone when Katsuki was peering over your shoulder. Thank God you had a lock on your phone, or who knows what else he might have seen. The photo of Todoroki popped into your head, and you cringed. You went to your gallery, and sure enough, there was the photo, still in the place of the last photos you took. He's so serious. Red spread across your entire body. You exited out of your gallery and went to Todoroki's message. Weigh-in, this is Todoroki Shoto from the sports festival. Your first thought was, who else would it be? After calming down, your next thought was, why does he write so formally? It's just a text, and it hit you. It was just a text. So, just one. So, who else was messaging you? enough to get Katsuki's attention from the other side of the wall. Then you went to your call log, and now you understood, somewhat. You had 5 missed calls from Rin and 10 missed calls from Hikari. What the heck were they calling you for? You clicked on Hikari's name and waited for him to pick up. Putting the call on speaker, you went back to Todoroki's message and replied, Hey Todoroki, yeah, I remember you. Hikari finally answered, and you took the phone off speaker, putting it close to your ear. You opened your mouth to speak, but before you could, Hikari shouted, sounding like he was crying, Hwa-in, it's Aoi. He's in the hospital. And then your world stopped.